All right, we are back. The Pick Six is here, and we have our top 10 defensive players in the United Football League. If you haven't checked out our previous videos, we've done quarterbacks, we've done running backs, we've done wide receivers and tight ends. So now it's time to give the other side of the ball some love. And Mike's going to get us started with our received votes category.
All right, guys, we're just going to be briefly going over a few of these cats that got mentioned but did not make the list officially because we had a lot of guys make this list. It was a very hard list to make. We're going to have Jordan Williams that got 6 points. We have DJ Daniel, a former Georgia cornerback that is a little bit slept on this year, but I think he has the potential to make a starting lineup and make some noise. We're going to highlight Reuben Foster, a former first-round pick. He got 4 points in this panel. Rounded off by Laverne Hill, PETA with 3 points, and Adam Rodriguez. Then we're going to pop it on over to the honorable mentions. In this list and category, we're going to have Davin Bellamy with 7 points. He's a Georgia linebacker who hits the mentions with 7 points from the Pick Six panel, displaying his prowess in a few games with the defenders. He is a Defensive Player of the Week to his name and looks to add more this year in 2024 with a very talented group that he is playing with. Drew Lewis hits the list with 7 points as well. Somebody who has been in the league for a while and been used very sparingly. He does good in reserve role, but has potential to be a breakout star if he's put in the right system. He just has not quite gotten there yet, but with the leagues combining, I think the added up amount of talent will have a lot of guys supporting each other's weaknesses and allowing Drew Lewis to really shine here. And rounding it out, another guy tied with a 7-point panel total is Vontae Diggs, the veteran holding it down in the honorable mentions. He's a very impactful player and has been for a few years for the New Orleans Breakers in the 2022 and 2023 season. He joins the Showboats as one of the players they believe is the missing piece between them and making it to the championship, but he's a bit of a sleeper pick as he just kind of does his job in quiet. So we'll like to see how it turns out.
The former Charger comes in at number 10 on the list. I don't know how that happened. Maybe Mike can tell you. But the safety, Ben DeLuca, is not a fluke. He got 8 points from the 6-pick panel, and he deserves to be here. He returns to the Battlehawks this year and looks to bounce back after getting injured. He had a pretty bad knee injury in week 5, which took him out for the second half of the season. And the Battlehawks started slipping in that second half of the season. So was it a coincidence? I don't think so. He had 25 total tackles before the injury and was a great starting safety for the Battlehawks, who are looking to be a leader for them in the back end of the defense and help the team finally get into the playoffs. So they have AJ to lead the offense, and I think Ben will be back there leading the defense.
Yep, not quite sure how that happened. Now on to the other person tied at 7th with DeMarquise Gates. He's tied for 7th place at 9 points on the Pick Six panel as well. He was an absolute beast in 2022 with 68 total tackles and 1 interception, as well as 1 fumble recovery. That ended up earning him 7 games of NFL playing time during 2 different stints with the Bears. He got on the field a good amount of times, had a few tackles, but now he is back in 2024 with his old team, the Stallions, and looking to be a part of this huge championship run that their defense is looking to have.
Frank Ginda is the next person in 7th because we have 3 of those, and he was an absolute monster last year for the Panthers. Is looking to repeat his success. He had a whopping 104 total tackles last season, which just blew away the entire league, and he led it. And he even won the USFL Defensive Player of the Year award. And you're like, why is he all the way down in 7th? I'll talk about that here in just a second. He's been awesome, man. He has been, considering his time he spent in 3 different leagues, he's kind of figured it out, and last year he finally got his chance to sign. I'm looking for him to be a leader on a good Panthers defense this year and at the top of the league at tackles, because this guy seems to always be in the right place at the right time. Now, he does have some limitations, and he's not the greatest player, and I don't even think he's the best player on the Panthers, so that's why he comes in 7th. But man, I would want him on my team because he is going to be in the right place at the right time and get a whole lot of tackles.
Rounding out our 7th place winners, we have DJ Swanger making an appearance in the league after falling out of the NFL in 2020. He has 9 points from the pick six panel here and was always a serviceable player in the NFL, had an impact on several different NFL defenses like the Texans and the Redskins. He's a very ball hockey safety, and at 32 looks to possibly show he's still got what it takes to beat the level of quarterback play in the NFL. He's someone who likes to chef it up his own way, so that might end up having some interesting conflicts, but it might end up being a way for him to shine in the spring league. Let's see how it plays out.
Number 6 is Trent Harris, who comes in with 14 points. He played college ball for USC, and this guy is from Compton. He's had a tremendous story growing up, but he was a good player for USC. He ended up starting 24 games at his time for the Trojans. After a few years of bouncing around from NFL practice squad to he even was in the XFL 2020 version, and even played in the CFL for a little bit, he now got his chance to shine last year. He would make the all XFL first team and lead the league in interceptions with 5. He was locked down, shut down last year, and was the best corner in the league. He was part of the best defense in the league for the Roughnecks, and he was the best player in the back end for the Roughnecks. And they relied on him heavily to shut down the passing attack and keep the ball out of the end zone. I'm very interested to see how he does in Arlington, and I believe he can help improve the Renegades defense and help them be more consistent in 2024.
Number 5 is Mark Gilbert, coming in with 16 points from the pick six panel. He's got a lot of potential and has yet to show it, unfortunately, due to injury. The former Duke star has the ability to be an island in the spring league, and there's no doubt he still has what it takes as far as athletic ability, seeing recent tape of him in practice. The major key for him is going to be availability, as dating back to college, he has problems with staying on the field. Someone who has it as far as being a corner, but will struggle as far as keeping it on the field. Ideally, he can be another brick in the absolute wall that is the Stallions defense.
Before we get to the top 4, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support on getting us to 400 subscribers. And you guys that are not subscribed, please give us your support. Please help us out because we are on the road to 500. Now, number 4 was the USFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2022. And he had a whopping 12 and a half sacks for the Gamblers and was the scariest pass rusher in the league. It was just tearing up the USFL in 2022. He would then use that play to sign a contract with the Cleveland Browns. Sadly, for the best defensive lineman in the USFL, he tore his ACL in the preseason of that year, and he didn't get a chance in the NFL. Now that he's recovered and bounced back from his injury, he's looking to recapture that 2022 success. I think he can be a monster in the league, and I think he can be the best defender in the league. Just time will tell if he has recovered fully from that ACL, and that's why he comes in 4. If he didn't get hurt, this could be a guy who should probably still be in the NFL.
Speaking of guys who could still be in the NFL, we have number 3, Trent Harris, coming in with 25 points from the pick six panel. The all 2023 XFL linebacker, as well as all 2023 sack leader, comes in at 3rd on this list. One thing we can all agree on, though, is 3rd place is his floor, as he has the chance to be a league MVP if he builds on last year's performance. An absolute nightmare for his opponents. He was a huge reason that the Roughnecks were able to maintain being relevant with a very wishy-washy Brandon Silvers at quarterback. He's going to love the change-up in having Teamu at the helm for his team this year, as he's taking a stab at the first place title with the Defenders in 2024. And if the Defenders' defense is anything like the Roughnecks was last year, they have it in the bag.
At number 2, we have former Florida State linebacker Reggie Northrup. He has been a spring league journeyman with stops in Montreal, Orlando, Tampa Bay, Houston, and last year with the DC Defenders. Northrup is a leader and a veteran that DC needs in their attempt to get over the hump and win a title. He has the ability to make big plays. Just look at his highlights from his Gambler days. That man was all over the field. and all over social media with his fake cigarette stunt in practice. That was hilarious. He has the ability to be a leader this year, and with 48 tackles in 8 games last year, he helped lead the defenders to one of the best records in the XFL. I'm excited to see what he can do in 2024 and getting up there in age for a football player. So I think this could be one last really good year for Reggie.
And capping off this list at number one, we have Breeland Speaks, who tops the pick six panel here with 35 points. This is a guy who's a part of the proof that the Spring League is the road to getting another shot at the NFL. In his USFL debut, he compiled 3 sacks, 7 tackles, and 1 forced fumble en route to a incredible all USFL season that led to an NFL contract with the 49ers. After that season ended, he's decided to bless the Panthers with his talents as they look to build up their defense to hang with the big boys of the league as everything gets combined. This is an NFL talent guy that has chosen to put in the overtime to secure a spot for next year, and we are the beneficiaries. Fun fact, he is also a Super Bowl champion.
This concludes our top 10 defensive players list in the United Football League. I hope you enjoy. There's a lot of names and a lot of good defensive players, so we could only include just a few. Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? Let us know in the comments below. Did we forget about your best player? And coming next week, we will start doing our predictions for the upcoming season because the season is right around the corner. Get excited because spring football is back.